He's from Akron, OH, are back on the road. The new album is called it's called Ohio Players. The tour is the International Players. Black Keys and The Head and the Heart. Remember them. They're going to do the Romo Fijo in October, Saturday the 12th. You can go to rocketmortgagefieldhouse.com for the details. Anything I left out, all the info is there. 2 for the Black Keys. Caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
There's something I want to say to you.
If you're not completely satisfied with today's show,
I will only be checking somewhat satisfied on our comment card.
you're not alone.
This is the Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Match. That's a track from the Defiant. It's called Where Did Lady Liberty Go off the brand new album, which is called If We're Really Being Honest?
That's what it's called.
And Dicky Barrett is
Come
here.
tonight and hear that at the House of Blues.
House of Blues tonight with Me First and the Gimme Gimmes and the Defiant. Dicky Barrett.
And a band called Ultra Bomb.
Ultra Bomb?
Yeah, they were
okay.
singing.
Where are they
opening up
from?
the show. One of the guys is from England. One of the guys is from the East Coast, and another guy is from Husker Du.
Really?
Yes.
Minneapolis?
Yes.
You guys are jumping around on tour, or you're out with Me First doing
We're out
this
with Me
run?
First,
okay.
yes.
And how long? You said this
They've
is the fourth
committed
show.
to us.
Yeah.
This is the fourth show, and I love the show. Spike Slauson and Me First and the Gimme Gimmes are tremendous. Also, C.J. Ramone is playing bass for Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Really?
Oh, that's
Yes.
crazy.
Cool.
Legendary, yeah.
Your birthday is one day before mine.
You're the 21st?
I'm the 23rd.
You're the 23rd.
Are you the
okay.
22nd? Or are you?
Yeah, you're right. I'm just a dummy. Before or after? Okay.
We don't know our birthdays.
Are you using words?
Yeah, that's all
I'm
right.
having trouble understanding them.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about
Yes.
people getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Was there ever a
Not you.
Thank you. Thank God.
No, but did you ever have traditional rock star dreams? Or were you like, nope, I like writing lyrics, I want to play music, I want to go out and have
I
fun?
didn't think it would go. Most of my life, I Forrest Gump through it.
Okay.
I'm in places where I never, ever imagined
You
I'd
stumbled
be.
into opportunity?
All of a sudden, I'm here.
Yeah.
And why am I part of this? And, so
I mean, like, how did the Jimmy Kimmel thing come along? How did that happen?
that came from doing this.
Yeah.
Is going into radio stations and being a nice guy. And,
Yeah.
And he's a journeyman, too. He
was a radio
Yeah,
guy
he's
for
a
a long
radio guy
time.
for a long
loves
time.
radio.
Yeah.
Still to this day loves terrestrial radio and everything about it. And I would run into him in different markets, whether it was up, in the Northwest. He was up there in Portland, I think, at one point. Then he was in stations all of had a run
Phoenix
in Florida.
and
Yep.
when I went back home to Chicago to work 0607, the station next to ours, the news guy on the morning show used to be Jimmy's co-host, a guy named Kent Voss.
Yeah.
Who was
That's
this
right. He talks about him.
very funny writer, and
Yeah.
I think early on he probably had him in the writer's room
Yes.
for Kimmel Live. Back when it was, those early days where it was a bar and, right? They got
Right.
rid of that pretty fast.
It was
because-
crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
But good.
Yeah.
And fun, and I was glad to be there.
Yeah, but a good time.
But that's how I got in on that stuff. And did I ever think I was going to be Ed McMahon for 20 years?
Yeah, that's great.
Not even slightly.
Right.
But there I was.
Yeah. So you have a family, right?
Yes,
You've got
I do.
children. Are they small? Are they grown? Are
They're,
they?
like I mentioned earlier, they're way younger than they should be, and
Uh-huh.
it made sense and somewhat sense in L.A. And the plan wasn't to, bumble around in a band for 40 years and have kids, but
Yeah.
I've got them. But
You have
and
them when
having
you
said
have
that,
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Having said that, I can't imagine the world without them.
It's funny, isn't it? I have two. I have two in college, but I have a second grader too.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, I was one of those, like, I'm as a younger
Dude,
man.
You have a second grader after raising two.
Well, second,
were out.
second wife. I know. I
Okay,
was
second wife,
second
yeah.
wife. Yeah. I put one woman through that giant break in
Yeah.
having. No, that's what I told my younger brother too when he started having kids again. I was like, you were almost out, and then I did it too. But as a younger man, you know, not knowing where your career's going to go, especially if it's in some artistic endeavor, you go, well, I'm not having kids. It's a distraction or a family, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get
and
older
also-
and all those things change kind of.
Also, when people say to you, like, you don't understand till you have kids, and then you'd go, well, I know what kids are like. I was a kid, I can imagine. And,
Yeah.
But then when you have kids, you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get exactly what they're saying. And you know, I've been away now.
And there's still
for
plenty
a
of people
week.
that have those kids and they go, nah, I still don't get it.
Yeah.
I
What-
thought I'd be one of those guys.
Yeah.
I really did. But, you know, it's been I'm 3 days away from them, and I do miss them.
Yeah. So at what point was there ever a time, I know you said in between the Boss Tones and the Defiant, you were kind of like, well, I don't want to stop making music. Were there times along the way where you were kind of, for whatever reason, you were like, maybe this is it? Maybe was there like a fallow period for you, or like maybe you were in a dry spell and you go, maybe it's just not coming to me anymore? Or has that never been a
no.
problem for you?
And once again, it doesn't have to exist if I write for myself or think for myself, and you know. But it came quickly, and you know, there was no writer's block or anything. It was I have things to still have things to say, and I'm going to say them. And I'm arrogant, and I'm probably a narcissist, or maybe I'm not, but I'm going to decide when I go to sleep.
Well, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
In any kind of artistic thing, you know, you're not, with all due respect to people who do it, you're not selling insurance, right?
Right.
I mean, you really have to go all in on what you think you've got going on.
Right.
And that's largely to the exclusion of everybody else. It's
Yes.
the exclusion of relationships and all this kind of stuff. And so you really have to be surrounded by people who kind of know what that is or can at least accommodate it, right?
Perfectly put.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What does your wife do? Is she in the business, or is she
My wife is a teacher.
a teacher?
Yes, but she was also she's from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But I met her in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you bond over your Massachusetts roots? Or was that a coincidence?
I said I went 3,000 miles to meet a Worcester girl.
Yeah.
But once again, I miss her too.
Yeah, of course.
She's a much better singer than I am.
Yeah.
Super talented and an actual musician, and now she's a teacher.
Yeah. Were you as a much younger kid when the thoughts of putting bands together or writing songs or whatever is rolling around your head? Was there any kind of light bulb moment? Was your family supportive? Where they were like, you know, you're gonna have to figure out something real to do?
No, they encouraged me, and my mother was always there for me and everything. But I think a lot of the times the answer was I really don't know what the kid's doing.
Yeah.
You know, so I think she was mostly confused. What does your wife do?
My wife, her background's in film and television production.
Okay.
So when we moved here from Chicago about 14 years ago, she had worked on Jerry Springer and Judge Mathis and those kind of shows. And when we came here, she would do locations for the Cleveland Film Commission. So when films would come, you know. But these days, she's kicking it with our kids. So, you know, she's loving doing that.
Right.
But that's what her background is in. So it's kind of like, you know, show people kind of got to be with show people kind of thing. You know, there's not everybody who kind of buys into that, but that was always kind of my thought. And this is kind of you did radio, you know, back in the day. It's like it's a nomadic business if that's what you're doing.
It really is.
You're moving around and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And so did the Boss Tones start out as a smaller unit? I mean, you know, for a long time, you had a lot of guys in that.
There's
band.
a core group.
Yeah.
Of us. So if I was to name who started the band, it would be me, Joe Gittleman, a guy named Josh Dulcimer on the drums, and Nate Albert was the original Boss Tones guitar player. Nate Albert actually went on to, he left the band after the big hit. He made the follow-up record with us, which was called Pay Attention.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, he invented the, you know, punk rock into ska the way the Boss Tones do it. And
Okay.
just sort of wrote that book.
Yeah.
And he was younger. He was like 14 when he first got into the band, when we first started playing. But and toured with us, was there all along. But then his mother was not doing well.
Yeah.
And I swear this is an interesting story. And so he wanted to stay home, and touring was too much for him. And he wanted to go to college too. And he went to Brown University and took care of his mother in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And then when he got back into, you know, a career and what he's going to do, he got into the music business, and he actually signed The Weeknd
Oh, really?
Yes, to Republic.
He's like an A&R guy or something?
Yes, he was like in a bidding war with, and he's still my little brother from the band.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
Wrote the early Boss Tones record. And he was in like a bidding war with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
To sign The Weeknd, and then he also signed Paramore.
Yeah.
And then he, so I'm now at this point now I'm out in L.A. and I'm on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, and he's like, I just got a new job. I'm gonna work for you. He was number 2 at Capitol Records.
Mm-hmm.
Like had that round building in L.A.
Yeah.
He had an entire floor was his office.
Right.
And it's,
he's all grown up.
Yeah. Come up to the 10th floor.
Yeah. Well, that
Which
would be
one's
weird.
your office?
That would be,
and he'd go, the 10th floor.
the 10th floor is
big
my
circle.
office. Yeah. My name on the main door.
Right.
Well, it'd be weird too if you got to the point as you describe where he's signing artists who are younger. They might not know what the hell the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones are, right?
I can't imagine he would lead with that.
Well, that's what I mean. But like even
Like
in casual conversation, he got himself to a point where he doesn't need to lead probably with anything.
Right. He's proud of it. He loves that he was
Yeah.
a Boss Tone and once a boss. It's like being a Marine, always a Boss Tone, and that's his thing. But he works for Giant Records, but he also had a stint at Warner Brothers Records where, once again he was a senior vice.
I think it's always better to have creative people in those executive spots. A lot of times, same thing with radio. Like this company is a huge company, but at the very top is a guy who like developed MTV and did all this kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Like the creative types rather than bean counters, which is primarily what those, if you have people that have any kind of creative background, who've written a song, who've gone on tour, who've, loaded in.
At Peabody Down Under years ago.
They've got that perspective.
Your boss is listening to us right now, right?
Oh, probably.
He's
sure
answering
he
the
is.
phones too.
Down
right?
in our local boss. Yeah, the boss. Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I
the
think
boss
Rob's
of-
answering the phones. Yeah. The Defiant is Dicky Barrett's, I was going to say new band, but current band.
Yes.
Right? I mean, for the foreseeable future.
Right.
You guys.
I'm going to make another record, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
The Defiant are playing around the corner tonight at the House of Blues with Me First in the Gimme Gimmes. And the album is called If We're Really Being Honest. When did it didn't just come out. It came out last fall or
Just
winter or
right at the end of the year.
end of the year. Okay.
Around Thanksgiving time.
It was the perfect stocking stuffer, wasn't
My
it?
wife said, do you really have to release it at Thanksgiving?
I got to give away some money very quickly, but hold that thought, okay?
Okay.
All right. This is $1,000. It's courtesy of the Buzzard bookie, so listen closely, and I hope you win.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Win. That's win. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
You know what I think would
Yeah, do you want to text in? Dicky, you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I'd like to walk away with $1,000.
$1,000. Hey, Dicky, how was Cleveland? That was good. We did a show. I won $1,000. Yeah, it was
the
good.
Alan Cox Show.
You know what would be perfect for you guys is they're bringing Yo Gabba Gabba back.
Oh,
Did the
yes.
Boss Tones ever do Yo Gabba Gabba?
Absolutely not. But
Yeah.
Christian, the guy from the Aquabats,
Aquabats were on there a lot.
well, it's his show.
It's a show.
Oh, it is really?
The Bat Commander, that's all comes out of his brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I met years and years ago, earliest of Boss Tones tours.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I discovered this band, the Aquabats, that was playing ska music, and Travis Barker played drums at the time for them, the guy from Blink-182, and fell in love with them, loved what they were doing. It was pure comedy, and he's one of the funniest guys I know, and he actually got tickets for Johnny, our bass player's daughter, because they're playing Coachella
Yeah.
this week. Their Aquabats are at Coachella. So I was like, how lame of me to ask you for these tickets. Could you get, she's 21 years old. She wants to go to Coachella. She lives in Los Angeles. And within a half an hour, he gets back to me, goes, she's all set.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we called Johnny Rio's daughter, and he's like, I got good news, honey. We got the tickets. And she started crying.
Yeah.
And so the back
That's
commander,
exciting. I mean,
Christian, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy. So anyway, go back to your Yo Gabba Gabba.
Well, no. Is it? Are you comfortable being thought of as an elder statesman at this point? Kind of.
I'm glad. I'm lucky to be called that.
That you're still around and doing.
I call
it
myself
and
the
having fun.
godfather of skacore.
Right.
For two reasons. We invented skacore.
Yeah.
the Bosstones, and no one else wants to be called that. it's not a
They're like
foot race.
Skakor, Skakor.
It's
What
not
is
like
that?
the Godfather of Soul or anything.
Yeah. You didn't have to fight people off for that title. You
no,
might as well.
Self-proclaimed Godfather
Yeah,
of
good for
Skakor.
you.
Thank you.
So, there's a lot of, when you decide that that's the kind of music you're going to play and that's the kind of band you're going to be in, you can't be dour. You can't be really serious about it, right? There's always some levity and comedy to it.
Well,
and so
it reached its peak and its pinnacle, and when it had the most success in the 90s, when we're talking about Real Big Fish or No Doubt or the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, and as a reaction to things being dour and dark, coming off of the grunge movement, it was time for, once Kurt died, it was time for people to start feeling good again.
Right.
Enter the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
But you guys
enter
were
Green Day,
around
enter-
through grunge.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
We just
right.
waited patiently.
Is that what it
for our
was?
turn. Yes.
Yeah.
And people were trying. When Nirvana broke, and this is funny, we were signed to a major label because we had a friend that worked at that label.
Yeah.
Mercury Records, and we were happy to be on it, and they let us make records, and we made records exactly the way we wanted to make records.
Right.
And they didn't do great, but we had college radio. We did really well on college radio, and
They were able to manage their expectations of you guys.
touring. But
Yeah.
once Nirvana broke, it was sort of that was it for the hair metal bands.
Yeah.
That stuff was passe. And then people in the industry were running around looking for, well, do we have a Nirvana? Are the Bosstones Nirvana? And we were far from that, but which allowed us to stay on our label through that. And then, mid-90s,
Well,
1997. we
but
had-
just within that genre, I mean, every label, it was like locusts, right? They went to Chicago, where I'm
Yes.
from, and they were like, signed everyone.
Everyone,
Smashing
yes.
Pumpkins and Urge Overkill.
Yes.
And Veruca Salt had done 2 live shows, and they got a major
Right.
label deal. And then they went to San Diego. It was the Stone Temple Pilots, and Rocket from the Crypt, and all these bands.
we were on the road with the Stone Temple Pilots and Fishbone.
Yeah.
When the Stone Temple
Oh,
Pilots blew
Fishbone.
up.
So
Well,
awesome.
It was
I love those guys.
unbelievable tour.
Yeah.
Fishbone was headlining,
Yeah.
and we're in Europe.
Yeah.
And gosh, you can tell me the name of the song. The dogs begin to howl from Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh,
Oh, the
Alan Cox
Plush.
Show.
I
Plush
think, yeah,
is the name of
Plush.
the song,
I think
right?
so, yeah.
Bam, boom, bam,
Yeah.
bam,
Mhm.
that song. And so the Bosstones, Stone Temple Pilots, Fishbone in Europe, and that song, and all of a sudden they were the biggest band in the world,
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots. So they had to shift the headliner
Yeah.
on, which was you rarely see
Oh,
that.
it wasn't Fishbone anymore. It was Stone Temple Pilots.
No,
Yeah.
and Fishbone had just put out "Give a Monkey a Brain."
Yep.
Yeah, at that time.
Had Swim on it, and I think, and those
Yeah.
those songs. But
You can imagine what that tour was like.
yeah,
Probably a little bit of
Those
animosity.
no, just a lot of
No,
congratulations.
lots
Hey,
of
man.
love, but
Yeah.
insanity.
Hey, good
Yeah.
job.
right.
It's your turn now.
Well, especially since Fishbone was another band that had like 8 guys too. You can have 3 bands and 20 dudes.
Maybe
Back
one of the
behind the
greatest live
stage.
bands I've ever seen.
Fishbone's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never disappoint, and never to this day.
Yeah.
Angelo and Norwood and those guys are complete monsters. And
Are there new bands that you like and you go, I like these guys because it doesn't sound like they're aping something we've done. It sounds like they've kind of got the spirit of it, but they're doing a little thing. Or is
I
it
don't
not
think
even
a lot of people
on your
try
radar?
to ape us. I think they appreciate what we did, and I think
Yeah, but there's nobody that's going to be around as long as you guys were as a band and not have people of a certain generation go, they were one of my influences.
I like people saying we're a ska-core band.
Yeah.
That warms my
Well, that's
heart.
because you're the godfather of
as
ska.
the godfather of ska-core, right this way.
Uh-huh.
So I like that. I actually really love the Interrupters. If we're calling them a
Yeah,
new
they're
band,
great.
I love
Yeah.
that band.
Absolutely.
I think they're good people. I think they have a great sound. I think they owe some of that to Tim from Rancid.
Yep.
But no, I have no real feelings on
Yeah,
what
okay.
anybody's doing these days.
Yeah.
And
Some people keep their ear to the ground more closely than some other people.
I
don't
had
know,
while I
yeah.
was on the TV show, I got to see every new band come through and do
Yeah.
3 songs, and it was I felt like it kept me current. Maybe I'm not current, but what do I care
It's so
for?
difficult to
It's hard
stay
to do.
current now because there's
Yeah.
just so much, and it's so fragmented compared to what it used to be.
And I don't have TikTok.
And they don't.
Right. Well, and you know what you like. At some
didn't
point,
get
you go,
that
this
out.
is what I like, this is what I don't,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I'm not necessarily keeping my feelers out for,
I
the
like-
next wave of whatever.
I like cheesy old 70s songs and the band and stuff like that,
Yeah.
weirdly enough.
Are the guys in the Defiant, are you guys as a unit kind of play it by ear, or are you like, well, let's write songs all the time and we'll do another album and we'll go on another tour? Or is it kind of more, well, let's see what happens?
I think we love what's happening to us right now.
Yeah.
That people care and that people are showing up and that people are going, oh, I want to buy this T-shirt. And that we were on Jimmy Kimmel Live a week and a half ago, and that, all the opportunities we're getting, and that, like I said, that people don't go, you suck.
Yeah.
And so as long as that happens, we're going to do it. I mean, I've made my point,
Yeah.
And I didn't, go away.
Is it like a homecoming at Kimmel? Is it the same band or no? A lot of turnover there musically. The guys that you were with or no? The house band.
The house band is the same. They were so happy to see me.
That's what I mean. Like it's like a homecoming for you when you go to do Kimmel.
When all of the people, it's like 500 people work at that show.
For 20 years.
Yes, and I was there for 20 years.
Yeah.
So everyone, including Jimmy, were very happy to see me.
Yeah.
And it was nice of him to put us on the show.
Yeah. How could he not? You're the
I don't know.
godfather of Scotland. Dicky Barrett is in the Defiant, a brand new band with Greg Camp from Smash Mouth, Pete Parada, who drummed for The Offspring, Johnny Rue, Joey LaRocca. They are around the corner tonight. I got one more pair of tickets I'm going to give to you as we go to break. Dicky Barrett, thank you so much for coming in, pal.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was so good to see you again. I hope it's not another 25 years before we get to talk again. The
I promise
Defiant
it won't be.
with Me First and the Gimme Gimmes tonight at the House of Blues. Tickets here for caller 10. I got one final pair I'll hand off to you. The album is called If We're Really Being Honest, and you can listen to that music wherever you get your music. And we'll take a break. Caller 10, you got these tickets for tonight, 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. And now, a Buzzard Bookie safe bet. If you gotta be in court, always check behind the toilets for bribe money that hasn't been collected yet. And always be listening for those keywords to win $1,000. Up to 9 chances to play every weekday at 30 past the hour. Take the action from the Buzzard Bookie on 100.7 WMMS. Brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
Here's my Jersey Mike's radio idea. I'm a ninja warrior. By night, I walk unseen. By day, I'm at Jersey Mike's, where they freshly slice my sub just for me. My blade is called Shadow. Theirs is called Meat Slicer. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Your afternoon drive is brought to you by the Ken Ganley Auto Group, Ohio's #1 automotive retailer.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
It's truck month at your local Ram dealer, and right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.